What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video. So the parts are supposed to arrive yesterday, got delayed for whatever reason, but they're here today. So in this box we have our new chain tensioner, which you can see right there. Sits just like this. There's the plug-in. This piece is under the chain. So there's that whole unit. Also came with the little metal, like little gasket, the little half moon one, which I already had there and there, but I got an extra one, and our chain. And then over here we have the oil pickup tube and the O-rings down there, and then the oil pan gasket, which when I pulled the oil pan off the 180, unless I just missed it, I don't think it had a gasket at all, but either way, we have it just in case, and the rest of this stuff is out of the gasket kit I got from Eurotuning. So head gasket, which I don't need, thankfully. These are intake manifold gasket, which I have the new South Performance one, so don't need those. Exhaust manifold gasket, I will need that. I believe these four small ones are for the injectors. I'm not sure what that one and that green one are for. This one and that one there, I set up for this. This is turbo stuff. I think these are exhaust valve seals possibly. And I think these are cam seals maybe. I'm not quite sure where these go to be honest with you. And over here we have the valve cover gas and then the inside gasket for where the spark plugs go. So we have all of this stuff. My parts finally show, which is good. So we can get started on the 180. So aside from these parts here, also went through and ordered the elbow because mine's broken to the crankcase breather. So that should be here this week. And then also ordered the Beetle 1.82 coolant flange because this one, as you can see, has one port. The Beetle one has two. That way the coolant reservoir can sit on the factory side of the Mark III, and the second port will go right to the bottom of this and keep it all on stock location. All right, so first thing on our agenda for today is to get the cam tensioner here swapped out. There's a handful of bolts on this side and some through here. There's actually a tool that comes with a new one that you use, that piece on the back side there, that goes through, that compresses this tensioner back down. There's a gap between the chain and the tensioner. You actually wiggle that one out and slide the new one in. And then I gotta figure out how you go through and actually get the chain off there as well. It just goes around this cam and spins it all together. Now before I go ahead and start pulling anything off, just put the new one kind of side by side to make sure for the most part it looks the exact same. We got 3 bullet holes on top, 3 over there. Plug looks the same on both of these. So looks like we got the right one, and we should be all set to swap it in. And then on this one I have out, you can see how that tool, that little black piece, goes down, screws in down there, and it compresses the top guide here down. So this piece, I'm gonna take off this one. I'll screw it onto that one. You can see the hole that's down there. So same thing, screw this one in, compress it down, pull it out, use the tool back on this one, put this one in, and we're all set. So as you can see, we've got our little tool here swapped over. We're just gonna spin this down so it's nice and snug. You can see it fits right between the chain and the back right here, sitting on top of that guide. Get it nice and tight. You can see kind of down there. Then we'll grab our ratchet, spin it all the way down, take all of the pressure off this, and then bolt, 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 and then one more T30 back there, and we'll wiggle this entire thing out. So we're off to a great start. As I was tightening this down, the whole bottom section snapped off, and it's now sitting kind of hard to tell, but you see the hole right there? It's sitting like back down inside there. So nearly a really small magnet. You can kind of see the shimmer of it's way back there. It's like underneath all that, but maybe a small magnet. I thought about turning it upside down like the entire engine, but if it falls, there's a hole over here. It falls like this way and it's like over on this side. I don't want to pull the entire head off to get it out of there, but it's like, I don't know if you can see it, but down way down there. So yeah, this thing snapped, and I wasn't even like, this wasn't even tight. There's still tension on here. I only got like a handful of thread after I did like hand tight, maybe 2 or 3 with the ratchet, and then just like snapped clean off. So slight setback. I wish you could see it. You can see it like in my eye. It's like way down there. Super annoying. So not off to a great start. That snapped. So this tool is junk. Or I need a new bolt for it honestly, but it's also cracked. Look at that crack there. So that thing's cracked, and this is broke. So this is kind of all junk. There's metal in the engine now, which is not great, and we've got nothing accomplished yet. So gotta find a small magnet, hopefully get in there and get that out of there, and then we'll try to come back to this at a later date, because right now can't do anything about it. Kind of annoying. So our broken bolt here is an M6 that I tested with the M6 nut that's right on. So M6 bolt. But the problem is the longest M6 I'm seeing is this M6 by like 60 or like M6 by 80. But this is not near long enough, if you look. Not near long enough, because even though this is already broke off, this is probably like an M6 by like 130 or 40, and even as long as this didn't thread in because it's too short because it snapped. I'm just not seeing anything long enough. They do have an M6 by 100, but this is obviously not gonna work. So I'm not seeing anything else that's useful or long enough. So I might need to order a whole new tool. At the current moment, I'm just not seeing anything that's long enough to match what we had before. All right, well, we are back. It's a new day. Yesterday, we made pretty much no progress at all. Is it snowing? Look at that little tiny bit of snow. Anyways, yeah, I said yesterday made zero progress. Bolt snapped off into the head. The tool itself cracked. Couldn't find a new bolt at the hardware store. Couldn't find a magnet small enough to get down to the head to pull that piece out. And just kind of called it a night. Two of my ratchets broke back to back. Thought about new ratchets. It was just a complete mess yesterday. And this thing's been sitting. As you can see, this is the tool right here. It's cracked right on the side. It still might work, but Martin's checking to see if he has a spare one. So might have one of those. You can see the bolt right here. Whole end of it snapped off. Maybe another like that much or so snapped. So that snapped clean off. Thankfully though, if you look, it is magnetic. So we can get down there and pull it out because I can see it right now, but I don't have a small enough magnet right now, which I'm waiting for Amazon to show up because I ordered a super small extension magnet. So hopefully go down there, get the piece out. But I didn't want to touch the engine too much because where it's currently sitting, if I can show you, which is hard to show you, it's sitting, so I can see on camera. All right, you can see the hole right there. It's sitting like right above the hole. It's so hard to see. I can't see on camera. But where it's sitting is like a little like corner spot. It looks like it's right above one of like the oil galleys. And I don't really want to bump this or touch it at all. If it falls any further down, like the head's gotta come off. That's gonna be a whole entire thing. So I'm gonna wait for my magnet to show up. Go very slow. Hopefully it fits. I mean, this is a super small area, but I think it'll fit down enough. Get it out of there and then we can move on. But if I bump it at all or it falls, like the whole head has to come off because once it goes down like under this and drops in the little galley, it's gone. So I don't want to do that at all. So for right now, I'm gonna leave it as it is, not touch it at all, wait for my magnet to show up, and then hopefully Martin has a new tool so I can get the tensioner here out and swap that out like we're supposed to do. But a little bit of a setback, a little bit of metal in the head. Don't want that. Will destroy everything. So gotta get that out of there. She is way, way down there. I can't focus all the way, but you can see it right on the left side. Way down there. We've got a very loud GTI moving. The car is so loud. Anyways though, Martin stopped by earlier today, and as always, huge thank you to Martin for always helping out. He brought over this beautiful Volkswagen timing tool set. I mean, this thing is awesome. And look, we've got the 180 can tensioner tool right here, and this one feels like nice and solid, good weight to it. The one I had, you guys saw it cracked over here. The bolt snapped off instantly with no pressure. It wasn't the one. So hopefully this one does the job and it's good to go. But I'm still waiting for my super tiny extension magnet to show up because I don't want to touch the engine or move it to have that piece fall down the engine. So until that shows up, we can't do much with any of this stuff. But what I want to do in the meantime is get a piece pulled off my spare 180. So the other day I went through and watched Jake Rawsons' video on the SAI delete he did on his 180, which is a super good video. I'll link it down below. But the cool thing was the 180 he used for his Mark II was actually from an automatic car, which this one as well, which the automatic changes down there. There's a few different pieces on the auto 180 versus the manual. For the most part, this is all the same, but some of the accessories are routed a little differently, which is why when the test fit this pipe that goes from here, the back side of the water pump, all the way around to the heater core, I wasn't sure where this side goes to because there's two pipes here versus normally there's only one for the manual cars, but this is for like the automatic transmission cooler stuff. So what we're gonna do, instead of using this one on my 180, I have the spare manual 180 over here. I need to get under a lot of stuff through there, but if you look on the back side over here, I need this section through here, and you can see there is right down there, right here. There's only one metal pipe that goes through versus two, so I need that whole entire unit off of this one. which will swap over to my now being manual one, and that'll clamp some of our hoses. That way it's only one pipe going from the back of the water pump around to the heater core hoses. And then also going through watching his video, I figured out most of all of this stuff, what we'll be capping off and deleting, which is cool. And then the elbow that comes out of the crankcase breather right here, you can do the elbow out to a catch can over here and going from here to a catch can and here to a catch can. What I think I'm gonna do is go from here and have it come up to this one. It's gonna tee off and go back to this valve right here on the intake, which I'll have the silicone one, but you can see that one right above my thumb there. It goes up to this and then down. So we'll have the same routing going from the new elbow to here, up to here, and then back to the intake tube. This will get capped off, and a handful of these other ones will get capped off as well. You can see it back here. So I think I have almost all of the routing figured out. We'll use the manual hard line that goes to the back. The routing figured out for the crankcase up to here, back to the intake tube. I think we're doing pretty good. We also have the 180 Beetle one coming, so we'll have the second port here. I think we've got it pretty much figured out or what needs to go where. And then as far as intake manifold goes, there's a handful down here. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I believe some of these get capped off. One's gonna go back to the diverter valve, which is this one up here. The small tube will go to that one. And I think we can use one of these as well as our boost gauge, I think at some point. Just going off what Jake said in his video, but making progress. I'm learning pretty well in this engine. It's pretty straightforward once you know like what's going where and you delete half of the nonsense. It's really not too bad. Also want to show you guys this. This is the factory KO3S that came with the engine. I want to show you guys when Martin was here, we inspect this a little bit. There's a little bit, you can see, of up and down play. Forward to back, not anything really, but up and down. And like left and right, you can see a little bit of movement. You actually see inside there where it's starting to touch just a little bit. It's not terrible, he said. But it does have some play. He actually has a friend who works at a turbo company who makes these turbos. So give me a quote right now to have some rebuilt. I thought about going to KO4. Now the KO4 001 is a direct bolt-on to this turbo, same 4-bolt downpipe, all the same kind of stuff. If I go to any other KO4, I have to swap the downpipe to the 3-bolt one, and not necessarily worth it, I don't think. The KO4 001 would add a little bit of power, but I think with this one, we'll do just fine. And if I want to go like big turbo, we'll build the bottom end, do rods, pistons, that kind of stuff, and go to like a Garrett turbo, like an actual like big turbo. I think for the time being, the first iteration, like I said, I'm only going for like 230, 220 wheel or so, nothing too crazy. So I think a freshly rebuilt KO3S will do us just fine. So let's make our way over here and get, there's so much stuff in the way. There's so much, looking at this one, like factory 180T, everything's still there compared to like how you are now. Granted, some of the stuff will go back on, but just like the sheer amount of stuff on the engine is mind-blowing. But look at the other pipe. We have one bolt there, one bolt there, and I think we'll have this connection, and I gotta pull out of that. So it shouldn't be too hard. It's just gonna be trying to get to it without having to remove literally everything. Now you can see it way back in there, but well, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't even see the bolt on this side. There's so much stuff in the way, it's crazy. Oh boy. All right, well, let's get it. Also, looking at this engine, you can see they have this blue hose from the diverter valve that goes down right there to this hardline section, which the one on the manual one looks much cleaner than the automatic one. Have to double check. I might pull it off as well and use that one. And then they have this blue one here from the fuel pressure regulator that goes under down to one of the ports in the manifold. So just kind of seeing how this one's all routed together. There's so much stuff in my way. I'm really not looking forward to doing this. Let me just check something really quickly here. Oh man, is that it right there? Looks like it. Let's do a little 360 here. That looks like it. Look at that, brand new. 1094. I have a brand new one. Yep, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and order that one because, well, it's brand new. It has a new O-ring on it, and it means I don't have to do anything on that one because I want to keep this one like intact in one piece as a spare for whatever. But if I can have a brand new pipe and not have to do any of that and touch that, oh, I think this is the move. So we'll order this one. That'll solve this pipe issue. That's good to go. And I'm still waiting for a magnet because there's still broken off piece of metal in my engine I can't get out yet. But this is sick. I'm glad to have that. Hang on, my friends. Hang on. I think it's happening. I think it's happening. Oh, My package is finally here. It's 5 o'clock. It's finally here. We got it. Now, what I'm really hoping here is this magnet I ordered. It's a whole set. But they had this super tiny one, which I'm hoping is going to be small enough. They didn't have any at the store that were small enough. The one in the hobby shop was too big, but I'm hoping this one will be small enough. So this is like the ones you always see. They're very big. It's not going to work. And then we've got this one, that one, this one, and then this one here is the smallest one, which it looks like that'll be. I'm hoping that's it. I'm hoping that's it. Like I said, everywhere else I went today and yesterday, all they had was like the big ones, and that's not gonna work. But this one is nice and tiny, and I think that might be the one. Let's go try it.
Breaking news. Wait, you already showed them that you got the magnet?
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. Not breaking news.
Well, we get this piece out of here. That's good news.
No, it's gotta be breaking news.
I don't want to break anything. I just want it out of there. All right, so get up on here.
It's like I'm watching a surgery.
All right, and wait for the little clicks out of that. This should be the right size. Let's see. Ready? No, that's not it.
Come on. How's it going?
Well, I had seen it. Where'd it go? I missed it. Oh, heard that?
Wow.
Yeah, that would have done total the whole inch right there.
Oh, that would have been a real doozy.
That would have really sucked.
You know, it's good that you have a wife with Amazon Prime, isn't it?
That would have sucked. Like I said, where this was sitting, you see it's in oil a little bit. It was right on the corner of like the top of the galley. So if I would have bumped it wrong, you could have like fallen down and went like down. That would have sucked. Okay, well, this is out of the way. Hopefully the next one doesn't snap off. Oh, that would have sucked. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's out. Okay, so and it was a clean break, so there shouldn't be any like metal pieces down there. I'm gonna double check, but that should be good to go. Now we can go ahead and try this again, and hopefully round 2 is much smoother than round 1, because you tried to ruin my engine, but not today. Not today. And like I said before, I only hand tightened this bolt. You guys saw me. I hand threaded it down and I put the ratchet on it and maybe did like 2 small little crank, and the whole thing just got loose, and I spun it back out. I went to put it back in and I realized it no longer reached down to the bottom, and I was like, that's kind of odd. And then I noticed the entire bottom half is gone. So yeah, rip this one. Hopefully the next one does not do that, because I would like to continue moving forward with this thing. Before we go any further with the 1.8T, let's check in over here. What's happening over here?
Just a little spring clean.
Oh, that sponge is black now. Wow.
No, it was green.
Yeah, it's black
this is
now.
the yellow.
I can see the straight tires now. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You guys remember, we did a bunch of stuff on this car. We washed outside of it, the seats, the seat belts, we trim painted everything. The only spot we didn't touch was the engine bay, so she's going through now and doing some cleaning. This car probably won't get any major work done until it's back in the States. All the cars right now, the only priority is make sure all the cars run and are ready to leave. We have like 4.5 or so months, which is gonna go by really quickly. So get everything prepped, ready to go, and make sure things running. And then once it's stateside, we'll go through and do some work on this car. But honestly, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Looking pretty clean. Now this car is from Brussels, Belgium. That was sold from a dealership in Spain, which actually, if you guys see at the back, it still has a sticker from the dealership in Spain, which is cool. You can see where it says Motorsport Imports. This is the dealership in Spain, and you can see right here, bam, right there, Motorsport Imports, Barcelona, Spain. So super, super cool. Had to save this car, and it's got the beautiful GTI seats in there, and I put the red belts in. So car's cool, super clean. Like I said, we'll do the stateside. We'll get some more loving. Right now, it's just a nice, clean OEM Plus looking unit. Not too bad though. It's actually really clean.
Yeah.
What we really need is a dry ice blaster, like a vapor honing machine, one day. But the vapor honing machine is like $15,000. So like the big unit, a little bit expensive, and so is the dry ice blaster. But I would love to have one and go through like clean base like this, because like you can see like down there the hard reach spots. You'll have to pull the engine at some point, just go through and clean it.
Yeah.
The only issue is though, because this one's from the Brussels plant, I don't think this car has the nice wax layer that the Wolfsburg car get. So I'm not sure how nice your factory paint is, but
well, it's
not
you
the
can
other
see
world.
it kind of yellowed a little bit, like right here on the strutter and stuff.
Yeah, just a little bit. So, I'll say later on we'll go through, yank the engine out, do some cleaning, maybe keep it the 2.0 2E engine, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it keeps the car original, or we'll keep that somewhere to the side and then, you know, BR6 swap it like everything else, or 1.8T or TDI or something. But this would be back in Florida or where we're at project for later on. Cool car though, definitely a cool car. All right, my friends, this will be round 2 of our cam tensioner extraction. Hopefully this time doesn't end in a snap bolt. Fingers crossed. There we are. Chain tensioner is out, and I'll explain how we got, well, here in just a second. All right, so how did we get here? So this is kind of my fault. The very first video I watched from Paul from Deutsche Auto Parts, his video is actually only explaining how to change out this gasket right here and the half moon one shaped underneath it right into there. I thought his video was how to go through and take the entire thing out, but as you can see, this is actually quite a big piece, and to have just this thing compressed down to fit the entire thing out, it wouldn't work that way. The normal way to do this, if you haven't timed the engine already, you would pull both cams out, then we can pull the chain out, pull the entire thing out, and you're good to go. But I found a cool video. There's a bit of a cheat way to do it. You can get away with just pulling the intake cam off, lifting it up and spinning it to the side, and you can kind of snake this piece out as you guys saw me just do. What I've also done, you can see I've marked on the sprocket, and then on here, and then also on the cap right there and right there. So all of this is still in time. Nothing's came off, nothing's moved. All we did, lift this up, pull this one out, and now we can go ahead and take this tool back off this one, compress this one down, and feed it back in. And also I went through, I followed all the steps, take off the cam caps the proper way, all that kind of stuff. Everything's laid out exactly how it came. It's marked, so there's no damage on any of the cam caps. They're actually looking to be in great shape on the bottom. No crazy grooves or burn marks, so that's awesome. And again, everything came out exactly how it sat in the engine, so this is all good to go. It'll go back just like this, all torque to spec, the right order, that kind of fun stuff. But we did it. A little bit more involved than I thought. I thought it was just compressing it down, sliding out, and you're good to go. But you have to do either the intake cam, or if you have the timing belt already off, you can do both and change everything out. But in this case, oh, not too bad. Learned something new. Not too bad. So what I'm gonna do now, go ahead and swap the tool over to this one, lift it back up, snake it back in. Well, actually, I'm gonna change these gaskets first to this one, and I'll pull off right now. You can see this little metal one right here. That should pull. There's the bottom one. So that one's out. And your little half moon right inside there. If I can get that out of there. Not drop it down in the engine. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There she is. Bam. So there are those two. Those are out. We'll toss in a new half moon, new top gasket, and then go ahead and toss everything back together. Torque all this back down, and that's it. We should be able to have the valve cover on. The entire top section of the engine should be done tonight, all sealed up and just done. Now, I'm not going to go through and explain all this stuff step by step because I don't want to say anything wrong, but if you want to watch the video that I watched, this is the one right here. It's by Auto Scholar with Mr. B. You can see it right there, and this is his video replacing the timing chain tensioner on a 1.8 B5, B5.5 Volkswagen Passat Audi A4. That's the title right there, and this is the video. So you want to watch the video on how I did exactly this right here, go check it out. All right, look at that. New tensioner is in. Didn't move any of our marks. Everything still lines up as it should. Definitely took a good bit of finessing to kind of wiggle it in there. Kind of a pain, and then once you get it in, you have to get it to drop all the way down. So that's sitting flush. And this is sitting flush, but she's in there. New gaskets, new half moon, all that kind of stuff. We've done it. So still have to go through, get this bolted up, get all the cam caps put back in and finish it up. But the part we had to change is done. From snapping a bolt to dropping it down inside the head, getting it back out, and actually making this all work. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's also kind of crazy. If you look how close the cam sprocket sits to this piece here, like it's really close, but that's just how it goes. So I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll call it a night. there she is. Our head is all put back together. Everything's torqued down. I believe all these are 7 foot-pounds I did. I think it's good to go. You can see all of our lines down here. Line up exactly where they were before. The engine was already in TDC, and none of these chains left the sprocket, so they didn't move at all. But just to be sure, I went through and I counted between each one. I think it's 16, he said, but everything lined up perfectly. These line up, the number is right, all good to go. Everything's torqued to spec, so there should be no issue in our head. And also, there's no metal floating around here, which is very, very good. So this section is done. I'm gonna go through and put the new valve cover on. This one that sits down inside of the spark plugs, toss in our new spark plugs, put our valve cover where I put it, things over there, put the valve cover on, and then top end right here, timing wise, all done, all good to go. I will say there's a little bit more in depth than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be compress this down, slide it out, put the new one in, and we're good to go. Didn't plan on pulling one of the cams out, but hey, learned something new today. Wasn't too bad. Follow the video step by step, and we should be all set now. All right, that's it. The whole top section here sealed up, torqued down, and good to go. Last thing for tonight, I pulled out the old spark plugs you can see right there. Really not in bad shape. Pretty consistent across the board. So not too bad. But got our fresh set going in here. Then we'll toss on the new coil packs, and that'll pretty much end it off for today. So I've had a lot of questions regarding why I'm running these coil pack adapters you see right here. Reason being, this is a new coil pack on the right. You can see it's a bit longer than stock. What the adapter does is mount this a little bit higher. That way when it sits down, it's in the proper spot. All right, so this is where we'll end for today. Look how sick this thing looks. Coil packs are in, adapters are on. I mean, this thing is just looking to... Actually, wait for it. Let me toss this back on for the full effect here. Now she's looking even better. Hopefully my injector seals will show up soon. We can swap those out and actually permanently mount this down. But this whole section and this whole section at this point is done. God, this thing looks so good. So come tomorrow, we'll come back, get the oil pan back on with the new gasket over here. I put the new tube on, you can see right there, that's all good to go. Get that sealed up, and the bottom end out here will be done. And then I have the rest of my SAI delete kit over here. Gotta get like this one capped off and start going through this mess over here and deleting some stuff, capping some stuff. And then I just wait for parts to show up, but we are moving right along. Hopefully still on track to start up this month. Like I said, we're just waiting on parts right now, but I think we're still good to go. Either way, I'm proud of this thing. We've been taking our time, hopefully doing it as right as I possibly can. And it's looking really good so far. Proud of this thing. I am proud of this thing. Very excited to jump into the 1.8T world. Again, it's my first one. I've driven a handful, I think maybe 1 or 2, but they're all stock. I'm excited for this. Even in stock form with the stock KO3S, I think this engine in this light little car is gonna be an absolute blast. Probably gonna go like stage 2 Unitronic or something like that. Get like 230 wheel out of it and just have an absolute blast in the car. And then later on, once we're back in the States, I'll probably tear it all back down or maybe build a second one and do like a built bottom end, a built top end, an actual big turbo, and see how much power we can push out of this thing. But the first iteration here, I'm pleased with it. It looks great. I can't wait to drive this thing, hear it start up, and just have an absolute blast and finally drive good old Pink Floyd. I think this is the perfect heart for this car. It just has like such personality. The green looks great. This was the perfect choice for this car, 100%. As always, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.